Have you ever faced rejection so painful that it felt like the world was crumbling beneath you? What if I told you that rejection isn't the end, but the beginning of something much greater? In today's video, we dive deep into powerful lessons that will teach you how to turn every no into a stepping stone toward your success and inner strength. From Stoic wisdom to real-life strategies, you'll learn how to rise above doubt, protect your peace, and build a life that thrives beyond setbacks. Watch until the end to discover how you can transform rejection into your greatest advantage and embrace resilience like never before. This video isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. Before we start, I'd appreciate your support. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on future lessons. A place where the word no doesn't send you spiraling into doubt, but ignites a fire within you to rise even higher. Rejection doesn't have to be your downfall. It can become the very foundation on which you build your success. The universe's no isn't always a brick wall meant to stop you. Sometimes, it's the road sign pointing you toward a path that leads to something far more profound and extraordinary. Have you ever been in a place where you felt unseen, like the world was passing you by as if your voice didn't matter? Maybe you've poured your heart into something, only to have it dismissed, rejected, or ignored. That aching feeling of being underestimated, of watching others move forward while you stand still, is almost unbearable. But here's the truth no one tells you. Those moments when life says no are the very moments that shape you, define you, and build the strength you need to rise above. In this powerful video, we will unveil 15 life-changing lessons that will teach you how to not only survive rejection, but to thrive because of it. These are not empty words or lofty philosophical ideas. These are battle-tested strategies that real people, just like you, have used to turn their darkest moments of rejection into opportunities for growth, resilience, and unstoppable progress. These lessons will arm you with the mindset and tools to not only handle rejection, but to see it for what it truly is: a redirection, recalibration, and a setup for something far greater than you originally imagined. Rejection has the power to tear us apart, but only if we let it. When you learn how to embrace it, to see it as a part of your journey instead of an obstacle, everything changes. You no longer fear rejection. You welcome it as a stepping stone to greatness. It becomes your teacher, revealing the parts of yourself that are strong, determined, and capable of rising to any challenge. With the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and these 15 powerful lessons, you'll discover how to transform every closed door into an opportunity to build something better, stronger, and more aligned with your true purpose. So, if you've ever felt defeated by life's no, if you've ever wondered why things aren't going your way, and if you've ever questioned whether rejection means you're not enough, this video is for you. We'll show you how to take the pain and frustration of rejection and use it to fuel your success, pushing you forward to places you never thought possible. Because the truth is, rejection doesn't define your worth. It reveals your resilience, your strength, and your power to overcome. This journey won't just change how you view rejection. It will transform how you approach life itself. Every setback becomes a setup for something greater. Every no becomes a redirection toward your true destiny. You have the power to turn rejection into your greatest weapon for success. All you need to do is embrace it. And when you do, you'll realize that rejection is not the end. It's the beginning of a new, unstoppable you. 1. Ignore them completely. When life turns its back on you, offering nothing but indifference, the natural reaction might be to question yourself, to wonder why you're being treated like you don't matter. But here's the truth. The moment someone decides to overlook you, to treat you as if you are invisible or unimportant, it says far more about them than it ever will about you. Their inability to see your worth, to recognize the value you bring to the table, is a reflection of their limited perspective, not your worthiness. So, what do you do in the face of such rejection? You rise above it. You ignore them. You don't engage. This isn't an act of passive aggressiveness, nor is it an attempt to make them feel guilty or ashamed. It's an act of self-preservation, of understanding that your energy is sacred, and you don't need to waste it on those who can't see your light. When someone tries to make you feel small, the greatest act of defiance is to remain unbothered, to continue walking your path as if their indifference is nothing but a faint whisper in the wind. Because in truth, it is. By choosing to ignore them, you're making a statement. You're saying, I refuse to give you power over my happiness. You're reclaiming your energy, your peace of mind, and your emotional well-being. And most importantly, you're affirming to yourself that you are enough. Their actions, or lack thereof, don't define your worth. You do. You decide how valuable you are, and no one else gets to have a say in that. But how do you adopt this mindset without slipping into bitterness or resentment? It's simple. You shift your focus inward. Instead of worrying about why they didn't see your value, pour that energy into things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Spend time honing your skills, pursuing your passions, and nurturing the relationships that truly matter. Those with people who appreciate and celebrate who you are. Dive into new experiences that enrich your life and broaden your perspective. Whether it's learning something new, exploring a hobby you've always wanted to try, or simply enjoying the company of those who truly love and respect you. Make these things your priority. When you immerse yourself in activities that uplift you, you're not just filling a void left by rejection. You're actively growing. You're building a life so rich in meaning and purpose that the opinions of others become irrelevant. Rejection, then, transforms from a source of pain into a catalyst for your personal evolution. It pushes you to focus on what truly matters. You and your journey. It reminds you to put yourself first, to invest in your own growth, and to never rely on the validation of others to feel whole. Let their indifference become nothing more than background noise, a faint echo that fades into obscurity as you build a life centered around your happiness and self-respect. Rejection hurts, yes, but only for a moment. What lasts is the strength you gain from overcoming it, from refusing to let it define you. With each moment you choose to ignore those who overlook you, you're reinforcing the belief that you matter, regardless of what anyone else thinks. This mindset isn't just about emotional maturity. It's about inner strength. It's about knowing, deep in your soul, that you deserve better than to chase after people who don't see your value. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The only person who truly needs to believe in you is you. And when you do, the world will notice. Remember, your worth is not negotiable. It doesn't rise and fall based on someone's ability to appreciate you. It stands firm, unwavering, because it comes from within. Let their silence, their ignorance, and their rejection be a reminder, not of what you lack, but of what you've gained: freedom. Freedom to focus on the things and people that truly matter. Freedom to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your highest good. Freedom to be unapologetically you, without needing external approval. In the end, their indifference will fade into the background as you continue to grow, evolve, and thrive. And one day, you'll look back at this moment of rejection and realize it was a blessing in disguise, because it taught you the most important lesson of all. You are enough. You always have been, and you always will be. And no amount of indifference can ever take that away from you. 2. Don't react emotionally. Rejection has a way of piercing through even the strongest armor, often catching us off guard and flooding our minds with hurt, frustration, or confusion. Whether it's being ignored by someone you admire, dismissed in a professional setting, or sidelined by those you once trusted, rejection can evoke a whirlwind of emotions that threaten to consume you. It's in these moments that we're tempted to react emotionally, to let our hurt dictate our responses, to demand explanations, or to lash out in anger. But here's the thing. When emotions take control, we lose the very power we need to rise above the rejection. This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism becomes a guiding light, offering a clear, composed path forward. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in resilience and emotional mastery, teaches us not to suppress our emotions, but to acknowledge them without being controlled by them. In the face of rejection, it urges us to remain calm, measured, and reflective, choosing a response that aligns with our highest self rather than one born out of emotional chaos. Imagine for a moment that someone you deeply care about, someone whose approval or recognition you've longed for, suddenly turns their back on you. They ignore your messages, brush off your efforts, and leave you standing in the shadows of indifference. The instinctive reaction might be to feel hurt, to question your value, or to demand an explanation for their behavior. But Stoicism invites us to pause before reacting, to take a step back and reflect on the bigger picture. It's not the act of being ignored that truly hurts us. It's what that act awakens within us. Often, rejection stirs up old insecurities, making us feel unworthy or unseen. But the truth is far simpler. Their indifference does not define you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take a moment and ask yourself, why am I letting this person's actions affect me so deeply? More often than not, the sting of rejection comes from our desire for external validation. We crave acknowledgement from others, believing that their approval somehow affirms our worth. But Stoicism teaches that our worth is intrinsic. It's not something that ebbs and flows based on the opinions or actions of others. If someone ignores you, it doesn't mean you're any less valuable. It simply means they've failed to recognize what you offer, and that's their limitation, not yours. Reacting emotionally to rejection can feel satisfying in the short term, sending a snarky reply, cutting someone off, or confronting them about their behavior. But these reactions only serve to drain your energy and shift your focus away from what truly matters, yourself. When you let emotions take the reins, you're giving your power away to the very people who've already dismissed you. Instead, Stoicism encourages you to regain that power by choosing calmness, reflection, and control. One of the greatest strengths you can cultivate is the ability to stay composed in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings or pretend that rejection doesn't hurt. It means you recognize those feelings, sit with them, and then choose a response that serves your long-term peace and growth. Ask yourself, what do I gain by reacting emotionally? What would happen if I simply let it go? The answer is freedom. When you refuse to be controlled by the emotional weight of rejection, you free yourself from the need for external validation and focus on the only thing you truly have control over: your own actions. Stay polite. Stay kind. If you feel the need to respond, do so with authenticity, but without any expectation. Send that message. Make that phone call. But let go of the need for reciprocation. Your worth is not dependent on their response. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its emphasis on internal strength, on understanding that true power comes from within, not from the approval or recognition of others. It's not an easy mindset to adopt. We live in a world where emotional reactions are often encouraged, where we're told to fight back or assert ourselves at every turn. But Stoicism offers a more profound lesson. The greatest strength lies not in reacting, but in choosing how to respond. It's about owning your emotions, rather than letting them own you. When you remain calm in the face of rejection, you're demonstrating an incredible level of emotional maturity and inner resilience. You're showing that your peace isn't something that can be taken from you by someone else's indifference. And here's the most powerful part. When you remain composed, when you refuse to let rejection shake your confidence, you become more attractive to others. There's something magnetic about someone who doesn't crumble when ignored. Someone who can maintain their poise and self-respect even when others fail to see their value. People are naturally drawn to those who are self-assured, who can handle rejection with grace and turn it into an opportunity for growth. In the end, rejection is not something to fear or avoid. It's a part of life, an inevitable experience that can either break you or build you, depending on how you choose to respond. When you adopt a Stoic mindset, rejection becomes less about what you've lost and more about what you stand to gain: self-awareness, emotional strength, and an unshakable sense of peace. Each time you face rejection with calmness, you're reinforcing your own value. You're teaching yourself that your worth is not dependent on anyone else's recognition, but rooted in your own self-belief. So, the next time you're ignored or dismissed, resist the urge to react emotionally. Take a deep breath, reflect, and remember that you are in control of your response. Let rejection be a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Through calmness, you'll not only overcome the hurt but grow stronger and more resilient, turning every rejection into a testament to your inner strength. That is the true essence of Stoicism. 3. Eliminate them from your mind completely. Rejection can linger like a shadow, following you in moments when you least expect it. filling your thoughts with echoes of doubt, frustration, and pain. It can feel like a bruise on your soul, one that you keep pressing on, even though it hurts. But there's a power in letting go, in mastering the art of detachment, and choosing to remove those who have rejected you from your mental space. This isn't about pretending that the rejection didn't affect you. It's about taking control of how long it affects you, and using that experience as fuel for transformation rather than a source of emotional stagnation. When someone rejects or ignores you, it's easy to let that moment dominate your thoughts. You replay the scenario in your head, wondering what you could have done differently or why you weren't enough for them to notice. You might feel like their rejection defines something about your worth, like their dismissal of you somehow diminishes your value. But this is the lie that rejection tells, the illusion that someone else's actions have the power to define your self-worth. The truth is, rejection only has the power you give it. The first step to eliminating someone from your mind is to fully acknowledge the rejection. Don't deny it, suppress it, or bury it under layers of distractions. Feel it. Let yourself recognize the disappointment, the hurt, or even the anger that rejection has stirred in you. It's important to validate those emotions, to understand that they are a natural part of being human. But here's the critical step. After acknowledging those feelings, choose to release them. Let go of the idea that rejection is a reflection of your value. Instead, understand that rejection is a natural part of life's journey, a detour, not a dead end. When you think of rejection as a detour, it shifts your perspective. It's no longer a personal failure, but a redirection, steering you toward paths you might not have considered otherwise. This detour is an opportunity, a chance to explore new avenues, new goals, and new connections that align more closely with your true purpose. Every time someone closes a door on you, imagine it as the universe guiding you away from something that wasn't meant for you and toward something far greater. Rejection doesn't diminish your worth. It reveals that there's something better waiting for you. So, how do you eliminate the lingering effects of rejection from your mind? It starts with filling your life with experiences and activities that uplift and empower you. Reclaim your mental energy by focusing on pursuits that challenge and inspire you. This isn't about distracting yourself from the pain. It's about actively choosing to channel your energy into something that builds you up rather than tears you down. Read books that expand your knowledge, dive into hobbies that ignite your passion, and engage in activities that push you to grow, both mentally and physically. By immersing yourself in personal growth, you reclaim the space that rejection once occupied, filling it with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. One of the most effective ways to eliminate someone from your mind is to surround yourself with positivity. Create a circle of people who see you, who value you, and who genuinely care about your well-being. These are the people who uplift you, who remind you of your worth when you momentarily forget. Share your dreams with them, listen to their aspirations, and create an environment where mutual support and encouragement thrive. By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you drown out the negativity of rejection, allowing the voices of those who believe in you to resonate louder than those who dismissed you. At the same time, it's important to cultivate inner peace and resilience. This is where true freedom from rejection lies. When you're at peace with yourself, rejection no longer has the power to shake you. It becomes just another event in the vast tapestry of your life, something that you can acknowledge and then let go of, rather than something that lingers and festers. Meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection are powerful tools for cultivating this sense of inner peace. These practices teach you to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them, to recognize that while rejection may sting, it doesn't have to take root in your heart. Eliminating someone from your mind doesn't mean you're erasing the experience or denying its impact. It means you're refusing to let that experience define you. It means you're choosing to prioritize your own growth, your own happiness, and your own journey over the opinions or actions of others. You're recognizing that their rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a reflection of what they're looking for in that moment, which may have nothing to do with you at all. Their inability to see your value doesn't mean that value isn't there. As you begin to shift your focus from rejection to self-growth, you'll find that your perspective on rejection changes entirely. What once felt like a painful blow to your ego now becomes a stepping stone towards self-discovery. Each rejection teaches you something new about yourself, whether it's how resilient you are, how adaptable you can be, or how capable you are of moving forward even when things don't go as planned. Rejection then becomes a teacher, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of yourself and your path. In time, you'll realize that eliminating someone from your mind is not about erasing them from your life, but about freeing yourself from the emotional hold their rejection had on you. You're no longer trapped by the need for their approval, no longer weighed down by thoughts of what could have been. Instead, you're moving forward lighter and more confident. With your eyes set on the possibilities that lie ahead, you'll see that what once felt like a closed door was actually the opening to something far more fulfilling. Ultimately, eliminating someone from your mind is about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your own story, and no one else's rejection can rewrite the narrative of your life. You decide what path you take next, how you respond to obstacles, and how you grow from every experience. By choosing to eliminate rejection from your thoughts, you're choosing to focus on the future, on the opportunities that await, and on the person you're becoming. And that person, stronger, wiser, and more resilient, is far more important than any rejection you've faced. 4. Demonstrate your worth through action. Rejection often feels like an undeniable blow, a moment when your confidence wavers, and you begin to question whether you are enough. Whether it's in a professional setting, a personal relationship, or any other aspect of life, rejection has a way of cutting deep, causing self-doubt to creep in. However, within every rejection lies an opportunity, a moment for you to rise, to turn that pain into power, and to demonstrate your worth through focused, purposeful action. It's a test, not of your value, but of your resilience and determination. When you face rejection, it's easy to retreat into a shell of self-pity, replaying the moment over and over in your mind. The hurt is real, and the temptation to react emotionally is strong. But the key to transforming rejection into a stepping stone for success is to use it as fuel for your growth, rather than a weight that drags you down. The next time you're sidelined in a meeting, passed over for a promotion, or even rejected in a personal relationship, take a deep breath. Instead of letting frustration or resentment take control, turn that energy into a constructive force. See this moment as a challenge to prove your worth, not through words, but through action. In the workplace, for example, being overlooked for a promotion can feel like a personal affront. But instead of allowing this to demoralize you, channel that disappointment into something productive. Take initiative. Dive headfirst into projects that highlight your strengths, or offer to lead an important initiative that no one else is willing to take on. Rejection doesn't mean that you're not capable or talented. It simply means the opportunity for you to show your value has shifted. Your worth is not diminished by rejection. It is waiting to be unleashed in new and unexpected ways. When faced with rejection, ask yourself, what can I do now to demonstrate my worth? This isn't about seeking validation from others, but about showcasing the talents, skills, and resilience that you already possess. Often, the moments when you feel the most overlooked are the moments when the most growth is possible. Use rejection as an opportunity to refine your focus, sharpen your skills, and push yourself to exceed even your own expectations. The best way to silence the doubt that rejection often brings is to act, to take deliberate steps toward your goals, and in doing so, prove to yourself and the world that you are more than capable. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. In personal relationships, rejection can be even more painful, striking at the core of who you are. It can leave you feeling unworthy or questioning your value. But the same principle applies here. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is a redirection. When someone fails to see your value, it's not because that value doesn't exist. It's because they were never meant to be the one who could appreciate it fully. In these moments, demonstrating your worth isn't about trying to convince the other person to change their mind. It's about reclaiming your power and focusing on the aspects of yourself that make you unique and irreplaceable. In both personal and professional spheres, rejection can serve as a powerful motivator. Instead of allowing it to close you off or make you feel small, use it as a reason to dig deeper, What strengths have you not fully explored? What skills have you not yet honed? What opportunities have you overlooked because you were too focused on the wrong thing? By redirecting your energy into constructive action, you transform rejection from a source of pain into a catalyst for growth. It's important to remember that every setback you face is an opportunity to reassess your goals and values. If you were overlooked for a promotion, perhaps it's time to consider whether that role was truly aligned with your passions and talents. If a relationship ended, maybe it's a sign to focus on developing deeper connections with people who truly appreciate you. Rejection is not a dead end. It's a doorway to something new, something that might align more closely with who you are and what you're meant to achieve. There's an old saying that when one door closes, another one opens. While this may sound like a cliche, it holds a profound truth. Rejection forces you to look for other opportunities, to explore paths you might not have considered before. And often, these new paths lead to greater success, fulfillment, and growth than you could have ever imagined. It's not about hiding your disappointment or pretending rejection didn't hurt. It's about embracing all of your emotions, processing them, and then using them to propel yourself forward with even greater force. In Stoic philosophy, there's a powerful concept of focusing on what you can control. You can't control the actions or decisions of others, but you can control your response to those decisions. When you face rejection, practice empathy, not just for others, but for yourself. Allow yourself to feel the hurt, but don't let it define you. Maybe the person who rejected you is dealing with their own insecurities, doubts, or personal challenges. Or maybe they simply weren't the right fit for your energy and talents. By practicing understanding, you grow stronger. You demonstrate your worth not by seeking approval, but by continuing to move forward with grace and purpose. This approach to rejection is not just about managing disappointment. It's about thriving in spite of it. Each time you respond to rejection with focused action, you build a stronger version of yourself. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and more confident in your ability to overcome obstacles. You begin to realize that rejection is not a barrier, but a bridge, one that connects you to new opportunities for growth, success, and personal fulfillment. Remember, rejection is not the end of your story. It's simply a plot twist, a momentary detour that gives you the chance to write a new chapter, one where you emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Demonstrating your worth doesn't mean proving yourself to those who failed to see it. It means standing tall, embracing your unique talents, and continuing to push forward, even when the world tells you no. As you face these moments of challenge, remember that rejection is not a reflection of your value. It's an opportunity for you to reaffirm that value through your actions, your perseverance, and your unwavering belief in yourself. Face rejection head-on, and use it to fuel your success. When you approach rejection as an opportunity to grow, you become unstoppable. The world may not always see your worth right away, but your consistent actions, strength, and determination will eventually make it undeniable. 5. Cut off contact. Silence is a tool of empowerment. Rejection can stir up a storm of emotions, ranging from confusion and anger to sadness and self-doubt. It's natural to feel the immediate impulse to fix things, to seek closure, or to confront the person who rejected you. This instinct is driven by the desire for resolution, to bridge the emotional gap that rejection creates. But here's a transformative truth. Sometimes the most powerful response isn't one of action, but of silence. Cutting off contact is not about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, setting boundaries, and protecting your emotional well-being. When someone rejects you, whether it's in a personal relationship or professional setting, the natural reaction is to reach out. We often believe that if we explain ourselves, if we get one more chance, we can change their mind. But chasing after someone who has already dismissed or ignored you puts your emotional health at risk. Instead of continuously reopening the wound, cutting off contact gives you the time and space to heal, reflect, and grow without the distraction of their presence. Silence allows you to regain control of the narrative, your narrative. Cutting off contact is not about running away or hiding from the situation. It's an act of self-preservation and a conscious decision to take back the energy you've been giving away. The moment you stop reaching out, stop waiting for a response, and stop feeding into the emotional roller coaster. You allow yourself to shift the focus from them to you. This pause isn't just a gap in communication. It's a moment of recalibration. You're stepping back to remind yourself that your worth isn't determined by someone else's attention or approval. Imagine silence as a shield, protecting you from the emotional turmoil that rejection often brings. It's not an absence of action. It's a deliberate action that creates space for clarity. When you choose silence, you're giving yourself permission to step away from the chaos, to regroup, and to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace of mind, and your future. This silence isn't passive. It's an active choice to reclaim your emotional power and redirect your energy towards something that will truly benefit you. Consider the emotional power that cutting off contact carries. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, constant communication, and immediate responses, silence becomes a rare and potent tool. When you stop reaching out, you're not playing hard to get or trying to manipulate the situation. You're asserting your independence. You're sending a message, both to yourself and to the other person, that you're not dependent on their attention for validation. By cutting off contact, you're establishing boundaries that protect your self-worth and emotional health. You're saying, "I am worthy of respect, and I will not waste my time or energy on someone who doesn't recognize that." There's a quiet strength in stepping away. When you cut off contact, you're choosing not to engage in drama or emotional games. You're allowing yourself the space to heal, to reflect on what's important, and to realign with your true purpose. This period of silence is about much more than simply not speaking. It's about reclaiming your power and focusing on your own personal growth. It's a time for you to pour your energy into the things that nourish your soul, whether that's your career, your hobbies, or relationships with people who truly value and appreciate you. And here's the beauty of silence. In a world where everyone is so quick to respond, to explain, to justify, your silence speaks volumes. It's a statement that you are not at the mercy of someone else's whims or decisions. It shows that you are confident in your worth, and that you don't need to fight for someone's attention to feel validated. This kind of self-assuredness is magnetic, not because you're trying to attract anyone, but because it shows you are grounded in yourself. People are often drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who can walk away from what doesn't serve them with grace and dignity. Cutting off contact isn't about hoping the other person will come back or miss you. It's about creating emotional distance so that you can see the situation for what it really is. It's about gaining perspective, allowing yourself to reflect on why the rejection hurt and what you can learn from it. Maybe the rejection revealed something about the other person's character or about your own needs and desires. This period of silence gives you the opportunity to learn from the experience, rather than be consumed by it. It helps you understand that rejection, painful as it may be, doesn't diminish your value. It simply redirects your path. The power of cutting off contact also lies in the fact that it forces the other person to deal with your absence. They may not notice right away, or they might not react how you expect them to, but that's not the point. The point is that you've shifted the dynamic. You've stopped pouring energy into something that isn't serving you, and you've reclaimed that energy for yourself. This doesn't guarantee that the other person will change their behavior or that they'll come crawling back. But that's not the goal. The goal is for you to change, for you to find strength, peace, and empowerment in the silence. Silence is not about avoidance. It's about reflection and growth. During this time, focus on your passions, on the things that make you feel alive and fulfilled. Reconnect with yourself and the people who truly value you. Dive into activities that enrich your life and remind you of your strengths. Whether it's pursuing a new project, deepening your relationships with friends and family, or investing in your personal goals, this period of cutting off contact is your chance to recenter and refocus on what really matters: your well-being and your future. Eventually, you'll find that the silence you once feared becomes a source of strength. Cutting off contact no longer feels like a painful act of rejection, but a powerful statement of self-respect. You'll realize that you don't need to chase after someone who doesn't see your worth, because your worth has always been within you. And when you live from that place of confidence, the right people, opportunities, and relationships will naturally align with you. In the end, Cutting off contact is not just about silence. It's about transformation. It's about choosing peace over chaos, growth over stagnation, and self-respect over validation from others. It's about showing the world and yourself that you are more than someone else's rejection. You are whole, strong, and worthy of love and respect. And cutting off contact is just the beginning of reclaiming that power. Through silence, you find your voice again, stronger, wiser, and more confident than ever before. 6. Prove them wrong. By transcending limitations and exceeding expectations. When someone doubts your abilities or outright rejects you, it can feel like a personal attack. It's easy to internalize their skepticism, to feel like you've been underestimated, and worse, that perhaps they're right. But proving them wrong is not about letting their judgment define you. It's about transforming that doubt into the fuel that propels you beyond their limited view of your capabilities. It's about rising above the assumptions and reaching new heights, not to satisfy others, but to unlock the best version of yourself. Imagine being told that you lack the creativity, the intelligence, or the perseverance to succeed in a particular endeavor. Whether it's a boss who doubts your leadership, a colleague who doesn't trust your ideas, or a friend who questions your dreams, these moments sting. But here's where your perspective matters most. Rather than letting their words diminish your belief in yourself, use their doubt as a mirror, reflecting back on your own insecurities and pushing you to address them with action. Proving them wrong is not about proving them wrong in the literal sense. It's not about creating a spectacle to shove your success in their face, nor is it about gaining their validation. In fact, they may never change their minds. But what's more important than their opinion is how you react to their doubts. It's about using their rejection as a catalyst to embark on a journey of self-transformation, where the end goal is not to win their approval, but to surpass your own expectations. The greatest victory is when you look back and realize that their skepticism was the very thing that ignited a fire within you. Start by turning inward. Reflect on the doubts they've cast, and then ask yourself, what if I could surpass even my own expectations? If they think you're uncreative, dive into a passion project that stretches your creative muscles. If they question your leadership, step up in areas of your life, both personal and professional, where leadership is needed. If they assume you're not committed, show up every day with focus and determination, not just to meet other standards, but to surpass your own. The act of proving them wrong is an internal process. It's about setting new benchmarks for yourself, pushing past the limitations they've imposed, and breaking through barriers you didn't know you could surpass. It requires dedication, resilience, and quiet determination. The magic happens when you shift the focus away from the people who doubted you and turn it toward your own growth. Proving them wrong then becomes less about them and entirely about you, about discovering your hidden potential and exceeding even your own imagination of what you can achieve. This journey isn't about grand gestures or public displays of success. It's about the quiet, consistent work you put in every day. It's about late nights spent perfecting your craft, taking risks when no one's watching, and refusing to let obstacles deter you from your path. Your actions will eventually speak for themselves. There's no need to announce your plans, no need to seek out the doubters and show them how wrong they were. Instead, your success will be self-evident, built on the foundation of your effort, dedication, and perseverance. Picture this. Someone once told you that you'd never be good at public speaking, that you weren't charismatic enough to captivate an audience. Instead of arguing, you quietly enrolled in speaking courses, watched countless hours of TED Talks, practiced in front of mirrors and small groups, and improved little by little. You didn't do this to prove them wrong. You did it to prove yourself right. And one day, when you find yourself standing on a stage, speaking confidently to a room full of people, that transformation will be clear. But the most powerful moment won't be when others see your progress. It will be when you realize how far you've come. The beauty of proving them wrong is that along the way, something profound happens. You stop caring about what they think altogether. The opinions that once stung fade into the background as you focus on the thrill of your own growth. You become so absorbed in your progress that the desire to prove anything to anyone else becomes secondary. Their doubt becomes a distant memory as you move forward, driven by a much more important force, self-belief. In this process, You redefine success. It's no longer about meeting the expectations others have set for you, or even about proving that they were wrong about you. Success becomes a deeply personal journey, measured by your own standards. And as you reach new milestones, you'll realize that the only validation that truly matters is the one that comes from within. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. What's more, you may begin to notice that the initial rejection, the doubts others cast on you, were necessary steps in your transformation. Their rejection wasn't the problem. It was the spark. Without it, you might have remained complacent, content with mediocrity, but their dismissal challenged you to dig deeper, to work harder, and to push yourself to new limits. In that sense, their rejection was a gift, one that led you to uncover strengths you didn't know you had. As you grow, the world around you begins to change, too. You'll notice that others will start to see you differently, not because you set out to change their opinions, but because your growth is undeniable. People are drawn to those who rise above adversity, who continue to grow despite obstacles, and who demonstrate quiet, consistent excellence. But by the time their opinions shift, you won't need their approval anymore. You'll already know what you're capable of, and that's the only validation you'll ever need. The essence of proving them wrong lies not in changing their perceptions, but in changing yourself. It's about stepping into your own potential and redefining what you're capable of. You'll come to realize that the true purpose of their doubt wasn't to hold you back, but to push you forward. It was never about proving them wrong. It was always about proving yourself right. And the most profound realization comes when you understand that this journey of growth never really ends. You'll always have new challenges, new doubts to overcome, both from within and from others. But now, you have the confidence and resilience to face them head on. The doubts of others no longer deter you. Instead, they serve as reminders of just how much you can grow when you set your mind to it. So when someone tells you no, or dismisses your abilities, remember, this is your opportunity, not to change their minds, but to embark on a journey of personal excellence that will redefine what you believe about yourself. The ultimate victory is not in proving them wrong, but in proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. And in doing so, you'll discover the greatest truth of all. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. 7. Go out and have fun. Embrace joy as an act of resilience. When life hits you with rejection, it's natural to feel like retreating into isolation, licking your wounds in silence. The sting of being dismissed, overlooked, or told no can be overwhelming, often pushing you to dwell on the pain and replay moments of failure. But here's a different approach. Step out into the light and seek joy. Yes, even in the face of rejection, maybe especially in the face of rejection, making room for joy becomes a radical, life-affirming act. Fun, in this context, is more than a distraction. It's a powerful tool for healing and growth. Rejection, by its nature, can make you feel smaller, as though the world has narrowed its gaze and left you standing alone. But by going out and actively seeking fun, you're reminding yourself that life is vast, expansive, and full of opportunities that have nothing to do with that single moment of rejection. You're not ignoring your feelings, but allowing them to transform in a space where positivity, laughter, and connection take center stage. You're essentially saying to yourself, I will not let this rejection define the joy I'm capable of experiencing. Stepping out and engaging in enjoyable activities isn't about pretending that everything is okay or masking your emotions. It's about creating new experiences that remind you of your capacity to feel alive, connected, and whole. After facing rejection, it can feel like the world has closed its doors, leaving you stuck in a place of self-doubt. But when you make the conscious decision to have fun, you reclaim your agency. Whether it's rediscovering an old passion, trying a new hobby, or simply spending time with friends, each moment of joy becomes an act of rebellion against the weight of rejection. Think about it. Rejection can often cause you to hyperfocus on the negative, zooming in on what went wrong and why. But by stepping out of that mental loop and immersing yourself in something you enjoy, you broaden your perspective. Suddenly, that rejection isn't the only thing on your mind. Instead, It becomes a tiny piece of a much larger puzzle that includes laughter, creativity, connection, and exploration. The act of seeking joy expands your view of life, reminding you that rejection is just one fleeting moment in the grand scheme of your existence. Fun and resilience go hand in hand. When you pursue joy, you build resilience by showing yourself that life goes on, that there is always room for new, positive experiences no matter what setbacks you face. Resilience isn't about never feeling pain or disappointment. It's about how you choose to respond to those feelings. Going out and having fun is an active response, a refusal to let rejection shrink your world. It's a way of saying, yes, this hurt, but there is still so much more to experience. And each time you make that choice, you grow stronger, more adaptable, and more able to bounce back from challenges. One of the most effective ways to do this is through shared experiences. Human beings are wired for connection, and the people around you play an essential role in helping you recover from rejection. Whether it's inviting friends for a casual hangout, joining a group for a shared hobby, or engaging in community activities, these interactions provide a sense of belonging that transcends the sting of being dismissed. When you connect with others, you remind yourself that your value isn't defined by one person's opinion or one moment of failure. You are part of a larger, vibrant network of people who appreciate and support you. Shared experiences have a way of putting things into perspective. When you're laughing with friends, creating art with others, or even just enjoying a walk with someone who cares about you, the pain of rejection fades into the background. It's not that it disappears entirely, but it becomes less significant compared to the richness of human connection. Every story told, every laugh shared, is a reminder that you are more than your setbacks. You are part of a collective experience of joy, resilience, and support. And in those moments, you reclaim your place in the broader narrative of life, one that's full of ups and downs, but always moving forward. Even small acts of joy have the power to lift your spirits and rebuild your sense of self-worth. It might be something as simple as going out to see a movie, trying a new restaurant, or exploring a park you've never visited before. These acts are not just distractions. They are intentional choices to engage with the world and remind yourself that there is still beauty, still excitement, still life to be lived. In doing so, you're showing yourself that your world is not defined by rejection, but by the multitude of experiences you can create and enjoy. Sometimes, the best way to prove to yourself that rejection isn't the end of the story is to immerse yourself in new experiences that broaden your sense of possibility. Take that dance class you've been curious about, sign up for a weekend getaway, or spend the day learning a new skill. These are all opportunities to remind yourself that life is full of open doors, even if one is closed. Each new experience is a way of expanding your horizons, showing yourself that you have the power to create joy and meaning, regardless of the setbacks you face. Ultimately, choosing joy is an act of defiance. It's a way of telling yourself, and the world, that you refuse to be defined by rejection. It's a reminder that your life is not on hold simply because something didn't go your way. Instead, you're choosing to actively participate in life, to seek out happiness, connection, and growth. This doesn't mean you're avoiding your feelings. It means you're choosing to give those feelings new dimensions, allowing joy to coexist with the pain. In embracing fun, you're not just surviving rejection, you're thriving beyond it. You're rediscovering your capacity for joy, for connection, and for new experiences. You're reaffirming that, while rejection may sting, it cannot rob you of your ability to experience the fullness of life. So go out, have fun, and let joy be your guide. In doing so, you'll find that you're more resilient, more connected, and more alive than you ever realized. Let your laughter, your exploration, and your connections remind you that rejection is just a small part of a much larger, richer life. And in choosing joy, you reclaim your power, one moment of fun at a time. 8. Venture into the unknown. Turn rejection into a doorway to new possibilities. When rejection slams one door in your face, it can feel like the world has narrowed and left you with fewer options. However, rejection is not the end of your story. It's a pivotal moment that invites you to explore paths you might not have considered before. Instead of seeing it as a barrier, View rejection as a catalyst that propels you into the unknown, opening doors you didn't even realize were there. When faced with rejection, the instinctual response is often to retreat into the familiar, to stick with what's comfortable in an effort to regain control. But here's the real challenge. Push yourself out of that comfort zone. Rejection may be painful, but it also frees you from expectations and routines, giving you the opportunity to explore uncharted territory. Venture into the unknown, whether it's trying something completely new, embracing a different perspective, or pursuing a passion that you've long set aside. These aren't just distractions. They're opportunities for personal growth and transformation. Imagine tasting a cuisine you've never tried before, or visiting a part of the city you've never explored. It could be as simple as learning a new skill or attending a workshop on a subject that has always seemed foreign to you. These experiences do more than entertain. They expand your worldview, broaden your empathy, and challenge you to think differently. Each new adventure you embark on adds depth to your character, making you more resilient, more adaptable, and more equipped to handle life's unexpected turns. In many ways, rejection is like a pruning process. When one path is cut off, it forces you to reconsider the other avenues available to you. But these new paths don't present themselves unless you're willing to step out of what's familiar and take a risk. When you venture into the unknown, you're opening yourself up to a world of possibilities that you might not have considered had everything gone according to plan. And in this exploration, you'll often find that the rejection you initially feared becomes a blessing in disguise. Trying new things isn't just about filling time or distracting yourself from the pain of rejection. It's about actively choosing to grow. Every new experience adds to your understanding of yourself and the world around you. You learn that you are capable of more than you thought, that you can adapt to new situations, and that there's always more to discover, even when things don't go as planned. Each no you face can become a stepping stone toward a richer, more vibrant life if you choose to use it as an invitation to venture beyond what's comfortable. Take the opportunity to explore areas of life you've never touched before. If rejection has left you feeling creatively stifled, try a new artistic medium, painting, photography, or even poetry. If you've been told you're not capable of achieving something, dive into learning a new skill or subject, whether it's coding, carpentry, or a foreign language. These new pursuits aren't just hobbies. They're gateways to discovering new strengths, building new connections, and reigniting your curiosity about the world. Stepping into the unknown requires courage, but it's also deeply rewarding. When you venture outside of your routine, you challenge yourself in ways that encourage growth. You learn to navigate uncertainty, to problem solve in unfamiliar situations, and to trust your ability to adapt. Each time you try something new, you stretch the boundaries of your own resilience, making you more prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. The rejection you faced becomes just one moment in a much larger journey of self-discovery and exploration. Exploring the unknown also cultivates a greater sense of empathy. When you expose yourself to different cultures, perspectives, and experiences, you begin to understand the world in a more nuanced way. You realize that everyone faces rejection, challenges, and setbacks in their own way. And this shared human experience connects you to others on a deeper level. The more you venture out, the more you see that rejection is not an isolated incident, but a part of the universal human story. And in this realization, you grow not only in resilience, but also in compassion. Venture beyond your comfort zone by seeking out experiences that force you to confront your fears and limitations. Have you ever considered traveling to a foreign country alone, or signing up for a course that has nothing to do with your current career path? These kinds of ventures might seem intimidating at first, but they offer some of the richest rewards. By putting yourself in unfamiliar situations, you challenge the notion that rejection defines you. Instead, you prove to yourself that you are capable of adapting, learning, and thriving in new environments. The key to turning rejection into growth is to see every new experience as a lesson. Each no is not the end, but a beginning, a push towards something different, perhaps something better. And as you explore the unknown, you will not only build new skills, but also reshape your understanding of success. The ultimate success isn't about getting everything you want right away. It's about growing into the person who can handle whatever life throws your way, using every experience, good or bad, to evolve. So, after facing rejection, don't retreat. Don't let that closed door define your worth or limit your potential. Instead, take it as an invitation to venture into the unknown. Try a new cuisine, visit an unfamiliar neighborhood, sign up for a class you've never considered, or dive into a passion project that reignites your creativity. Each of these actions is more than a distraction. They're opportunities to expand your horizons, deepen your understanding of the world, and ultimately grow into a more resilient, adaptable, and fulfilled person. As you step into the unknown, you'll begin to see rejection differently. It no longer feels like a wall blocking your path, but rather a signpost directing you toward new possibilities. You'll realize that life is full of doors waiting to be opened, doors that might have remained hidden had you not been pushed to look for them. In this way, rejection becomes a pivotal part of your journey, not an obstacle, but a redirection toward greater growth, experience, and fulfillment. The unknown is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's where growth happens, where new opportunities arise, and where you discover parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. So when rejection pushes you off course, don't shrink back into your comfort zone. Step boldly into the unknown and watch as your world expands in ways you never thought possible. Through these new experiences, you'll not only recover from rejection, you'll transform it into an essential part of your growth and success. 9. Build your social status. Elevate yourself by elevating others. Imagine walking into a room full of people, only to feel invisible, as though you are on the periphery of every conversation, overlooked and undervalued. It's a feeling that cuts deep, but within that moment of rejection lies a hidden opportunity. Stoicism teaches us to see rejection not as a barrier, but as a catalyst for personal transformation. Instead of seeking validation from others or fixating on social hierarchies, shift your focus inward. The true essence of building your social status begins with self-development, meaningful connections, and contributing to the greater good. In moments where you feel ignored or dismissed, it's easy to be tempted by the desire for recognition or applause. But true growth comes not from chasing external validation, but from focusing on building yourself into a stronger, more resilient person. Think of these moments of social rejection as invitations to invest in yourself, to ascend your own ladder of self-improvement. This isn't about climbing the traditional social ladder or gaining popularity. It's about becoming the best version of yourself through deliberate, consistent growth. Start by engaging in activities that nurture your body, mind, and soul. Whether it's physical fitness, exploring new hobbies, or advancing in your career, these are not mere tasks to check off a list. They are tools that sculpt a more capable, confident, and resilient version of yourself. Each time you push yourself to improve, whether it's mastering a new skill or taking on a challenge that scares you, you build the kind of strength that makes you naturally stand out. People are drawn to those who are engaged in their own growth, not because they demand attention, but because their energy is contagious. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you share your journey, do so not with the intention of gaining applause or recognition, but with the intention of connecting. Share your interests, passions, and achievements not to impress others, but to build bridges that foster meaningful relationships. Genuine connection comes from authenticity. When you speak about your interests, let it be a sincere expression of who you are and what excites you. By doing this, you're creating opportunities to find like-minded individuals who resonate with your story, people who share your passions and values. This isn't a strategy to gain followers or boost your social standing in a superficial sense. It's a way to form real, lasting connections with others who appreciate the same things you do. True social status, in its most authentic form, isn't measured by the number of people who know your name or follow your work. It's measured by the depth of the relationships you cultivate, the value you add to the lives of others, and the integrity with which you live your life. When you engage with your community, whether through volunteer work, mentoring others, or simply offering your time and skills, you aren't just adding another line to your resume. You're weaving a network of genuine, meaningful connections that enrich both your life and the lives of others. In Stoic philosophy, personal growth is not a selfish pursuit. It's deeply tied to the well-being of the greater community. The Stoics believed that we are all part of a larger whole, and that the work we do on ourselves is not only for our own benefit but for the benefit of society. By improving ourselves, we become better equipped to contribute to the world around us. This idea of interdependence is crucial when considering how to build your social status in a way that is authentic and sustainable. Building your social status from a Stoic perspective means approaching your interactions with intention. It's not about being seen or gaining popularity, but about creating a life that is aligned with your values and rooted in personal growth. Every step you take, whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a passion, or contributing to your community, should be a step toward becoming a better version of yourself. And as you grow, you'll naturally elevate those around you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself. Consider the powerful role of community engagement. Whether you're volunteering your time at a local charity, mentoring a younger colleague, or attending networking events, each action serves to build a network of relationships that are not just transactional, but deeply meaningful. When you approach networking from a place of genuine interest and service to others, people will remember you, not for what you want from them, but for what you contribute. This approach shifts the dynamic of social status away from superficial popularity contests and toward a model that values connection, integrity, and shared growth. In the modern world, where social media often distorts our understanding of status and success, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking quick validation. But Stoicism reminds us that true status is not found in likes, followers, or external accolades. It's found in the quiet, deliberate work of self-improvement, and in the meaningful connections we cultivate along the way. When you focus on building yourself up, physically, mentally, emotionally, you naturally rise. But this rise is not about being noticed. It's about being of value to the people and communities around you. Every act of self-improvement, no matter how small, benefits not just you, but those you interact with. The more you grow, the more you can offer to others, whether it's your wisdom, your skills, or simply your presence. And as you become more engaged in your own growth, you'll find that others begin to notice you, not because you're seeking their attention, but because your actions speak for themselves. People are naturally drawn to those who are authentic, passionate, and committed to becoming the best versions of themselves. So, the next time you feel invisible in a room, remember this. Your value isn't determined by how many people are paying attention to you in that moment. Your worth is measured by the work you're putting into yourself, and by the genuine connections you're fostering with others. Social status, when built on the foundation of personal growth and service to others, becomes something much more meaningful than simply being noticed. It becomes a reflection of the impact you're making in the world, one step at a time. Ultimately, building your social status isn't about ascending some external ladder. It's about ascending your own. It's about constantly striving to be better, more engaged, and more connected. And as you grow, both in your own development and in your contributions to the community, your social status will naturally rise. But the greatest reward won't be the recognition you receive. It will be the knowledge that you've become someone who lifts others up as you continue to rise yourself. In the end, the Stoic approach to building social status is not about being seen. It's about witnessing your own growth and using that growth to help others along the way. And when you live this way, rejection no longer feels like a barrier. Instead, it becomes the fuel that propels you toward deeper connections, greater self-awareness, and a life rich with purpose and meaning. 10. Act as if they don't exist. Protect your peace through purposeful detachment. When you're in a situation where someone chooses to ignore you or make you feel invisible, the most powerful response you can give isn't one filled with confrontation or desperate attempts to win their acknowledgement. It's in your silence, in your graceful indifference, that you find your true strength. This isn't about being petty or passive-aggressive. It's about choosing to prioritize your peace, your energy, and your self-worth. When someone deliberately overlooks your presence, whether it's in a social setting, at work, or even in a personal relationship, the temptation to engage, to demand attention, can be overwhelming. But chasing after validation or trying to force an interaction will only drain you emotionally. Instead, step back. Act as if they don't exist, not as an act of hostility, but as an act of self-preservation. The key here is not about ignoring them out of spite. It's about choosing to redirect your focus to people and activities that genuinely value your presence and contribute to your well-being. Imagine being at a party where someone is clearly avoiding or ignoring you. The instinct might be to approach them, ask questions, or try to bridge the gap. But what if instead of chasing their attention, you shifted your energy toward those who truly appreciate you? There's immense power in choosing not to engage with those who do not reciprocate your respect. Head toward a group where your presence is welcome, where conversation flows naturally, and where your value is recognized. This simple act of reclaiming your attention reinforces the message to yourself. Your worth is not dependent on anyone's recognition but your own. By doing this, you're not just preserving your emotional energy. You're also sending a subtle yet powerful message to yourself and others that you will not waste your time on relationships or interactions that don't uplift you. This is not about showing superiority or creating division. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. In a world where attention can often feel like currency, refusing to spend your emotional resources on those who don't value it becomes an act of self-respect. When you inevitably have to interact with this person, whether in a professional setting or in unavoidable social circles, do so with professionalism and detachment. Keep conversations brief, concise, and impersonal. This doesn't mean being cold or dismissive. It means establishing clear boundaries that protect your peace. By maintaining a strictly professional or neutral demeanor, you prevent unnecessary drama from entering your life. You communicate that while you may have to interact, you won't invest emotionally in someone who doesn't reciprocate that investment. Acting as if they don't exist isn't about cutting people out completely or holding grudges. It's about strategically deciding where to place your energy. If indifference from the other person persists, consider the power of walking away. Not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Walking away is not a defeat. It's a recognition that your time, energy, and emotional bandwidth are better spent elsewhere. It's a strategic retreat from a one-sided relationship that does nothing to serve your personal growth or happiness. When you choose not to engage in one-sided conflicts or interactions, you free yourself from the emotional weight of seeking validation from those who aren't willing to offer it. You step away from the negativity, distancing yourself not just from a person but from the emotional roller coaster that comes with trying to win someone's approval. This detachment allows you to move toward relationships, activities, and opportunities that truly fulfill you. Consider this. Every time you walk away from an unreciprocated relationship or interaction, you're creating space in your life for something better. By refusing to engage in a dynamic where you are undervalued, you open the door to new connections that will nourish your spirit, new opportunities that will push you forward, and new environments where you are appreciated. In this way, indifference becomes a catalyst for change, pushing you toward situations that align with your worth and goals. This act of disengagement is not a sign of weakness, as many might believe. It takes incredible strength to recognize when something is not serving you and to consciously choose to walk away. It's easy to get caught up in the emotional game of seeking validation or attention from someone who has no intention of giving it. But the harder, more rewarding path is to let go, to say, I don't need this to feel whole, to feel worthy, or to feel validated. And in that letting go, you regain control of your narrative, of your energy, and of your happiness. By choosing to act as if they don't exist, you are not ignoring the reality of the situation. You are acknowledging it and choosing to rise above it. You are saying, this dynamic no longer serves me, and I choose to protect my peace. You're not seeking revenge, superiority, or even understanding. You're seeking clarity, focus, and peace of mind. And in this way, you transform indifference into an opportunity for growth. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can and accept what we cannot. You cannot force someone to see your value if they have already chosen to overlook it. But you can choose how you respond to that indifference. You can decide that their lack of acknowledgement does not diminish your worth. You can decide that your energy is better spent on people and experiences that add value to your life. This is not avoidance, it's empowerment. Walking away from a one-sided interaction is not about holding grudges or cutting ties with everyone who has ever ignored you. It's about recognizing when a relationship or interaction no longer serves your growth and choosing to move forward without resentment. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of trying to be seen by someone who is unwilling or unable to see you. Ultimately, acting as if they don't exist is about reclaiming your power. It's about shifting your focus away from those who don't value you and toward the people, activities, and goals that do. It's about making a conscious decision to protect your peace, prioritize your well-being, and cultivate a life filled with genuine connections and meaningful experiences. So, the next time someone overlooks you or ignores your presence, don't waste your energy trying to capture their attention. Walk away, not in defeat, but in strength. Direct your energy toward the things and people that truly matter. In doing so, you'll not only preserve your emotional well-being, but you'll also open the door to new opportunities for joy, growth, and connection. This silent, purposeful detachment is the ultimate expression of self-respect and resilience. 11. Grant yourself silence. Embrace it as a path to clarity and self-mastery. In a world that often encourages immediate reactions, especially in the face of rejection or indifference, silence can feel counterintuitive. When someone ignores or dismisses you, the urge to respond, to fill the space with words, can be overwhelming. But in these moments, silence is one of the most powerful tools you can wield, not as a weapon or a strategy for manipulation, but as a space for introspection, healing, and growth. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond. When faced with indifference, the natural reaction might be to engage in a way that forces acknowledgement or even confrontation. But what if instead of responding outwardly, you chose to turn inward? Grant yourself silence, not as a retreat, but as a gift, a moment to sit with your thoughts, understand your emotions, and reflect on how you want to navigate the situation. This isn't about dominating the other person or using silence as a tool to make them uncomfortable. It's about preserving your dignity, protecting your peace, and fostering emotional mastery. Silence, in this context, is not a passive act. It's an active choice to step back and give yourself space to breathe, to reflect, and to grow. When someone ignores you and you resist the urge to respond, you are choosing to place your well-being at the forefront. You're giving yourself the opportunity to ask, why does this situation bother me? And what can I learn from it? This moment of silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back your feelings, your values, and your priorities. It's not about punishing the other person or engaging in a silent power play. It's about self-preservation and inner peace. In this silence, there is immense potential for personal growth. It becomes an opportunity for introspection, a space to examine your thoughts and feelings, and a moment to check in with yourself. Instead of reacting impulsively, silence allows you to process your emotions more deeply. Why did their indifference affect you so much? What underlying insecurities or needs might be triggered? By pausing and reflecting, you give yourself the chance to understand what truly matters and how you can move forward with more intention and self-awareness. This period of silence is not a form of closure, but rather an opening, a doorway to self-discovery. Stoicism encourages us to use adversity as a means to reflect on our virtues, values, and the way we engage with the world. When faced with rejection or indifference, silence allows you to realign yourself with your principles. It's a moment to reaffirm your character, to remind yourself of what you stand for, and to ensure that your responses are in harmony with your highest ideals. It's in this quiet space that you can find clarity, strength, and a deeper sense of self-respect. When you choose silence, let it be a conscious decision, one rooted in wisdom and self-care. You're not ignoring the situation or the person out of pettiness or revenge. Instead, you're choosing not to waste your energy on actions or words that do not align with your values. You're resisting the urge to engage in behaviors that would lower your character, manipulation, retaliation, or seeking validation. This type of silence is not avoidance. It's an act of listening. Listening to yourself, to your thoughts, and to your inner wisdom. In moments of silence, we often find answers that can't be reached through conversation or conflict. It allows you to pause and observe your own emotional landscape. You're not rushing to explain yourself, to prove a point. or to justify your feelings. You're simply allowing yourself the grace to be still, to think, and to feel. And in that stillness, you cultivate resilience and emotional composure. You practice the Stoic ideal of serenity in the face of adversity, staying calm and grounded despite external chaos. In this silence, you may find that what initially bothered you no longer holds as much weight. When we give ourselves time to reflect, we often realize that the things we thought were crucial, being acknowledged, being right, or being heard, don't matter as much as maintaining our inner peace. Silence creates distance from the heat of the moment, allowing you to see things from a broader perspective. It empowers you to respond not from a place of emotional turbulence, but from a place of calm deliberation. This silence is also a reminder that you don't need external validation to know your worth. When you choose to stay silent in the face of indifference, you're making a powerful statement to yourself. I don't need anyone's acknowledgement to validate my existence. You're affirming that your value isn't tied to someone else's attention or approval. By embracing silence, you strengthen your relationship with yourself, prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being over the fleeting satisfaction of external recognition. At times, the most impactful response is no response at all. In remaining silent, you create space for reflection and growth. You refuse to engage in conflict or drama, and instead, you choose the path of inner calm and self-respect. This doesn't mean you're avoiding the situation or pretending that it doesn't matter. It means you're handling it with grace, allowing yourself time to process your emotions and decide on your next steps with clarity and purpose. Stoicism teaches that silence can be a form of strength. It's not about avoiding conflict, but about choosing when and how to engage in ways that align with your principles. Silence becomes a tool for maintaining dignity, for keeping control of your inner state, and for ensuring that your responses are thoughtful, not reactive. It allows you to step back and focus on what truly matters: your peace, your growth, and your well-being. Ultimately, granting yourself silence is one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can engage in. It's a moment to reflect, to realign with your values, and to choose a path that preserves your dignity and emotional composure. In a world that constantly demands reaction and engagement, silence becomes a radical act of self-respect. It's not about ignoring others. It's about listening deeply to yourself, learning from your experiences, and growing stronger in the process. And through that silence, you find the clarity and strength to move forward with grace and resilience. 12. Don't beg for attention. Anchor yourself in self-worth and independence. When confronted with indifference, it's tempting to amplify your presence, to act in ways that demand recognition, or to chase after acknowledgement. But Stoicism offers a profoundly different path, one of inner strength, quiet confidence, and unwavering self-respect. In moments where someone ignores or dismisses you, the Stoic response is not to beg for their attention, but to embrace the opportunity to reaffirm your own value. This is not a call to retreat into bitterness or resentment, but to ground yourself more deeply in your own self-worth, knowing that your value is not dependent on external validation. When someone overlooks or disregards you, it's easy to feel as though your worth is in question. But Stoicism teaches us that our self-esteem should not be like a pendulum, swinging back and forth based on how others treat us. True self-worth is rooted in the understanding that your value is intrinsic, unchanging, regardless of how others perceive or acknowledge it. Instead of trying harder to be seen, use this moment to turn inward and remind yourself that your worth is not something to be negotiated or dependent on someone else's attention. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 5 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Rather than reacting by seeking more visibility, this is an opportunity to immerse yourself fully in the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Anchor yourself in your passions, whether that's learning a new skill, working on a personal project, or simply enjoying activities that make you feel alive. The focus shifts from being noticed to noticing yourself. When you engage deeply with your interests, you cultivate a life that is fulfilling in and of itself, one that doesn't rely on the fleeting approval or recognition of others. This approach isn't about making a show of independence or trying to make someone realize what they're missing. It's about recognizing what you bring to the table, acknowledging your own worth, and engaging in life in a way that uplifts and fulfills you. Self-sufficiency is a key Stoic principle, and it's especially relevant in situations where you might otherwise feel invisible or disregarded. By anchoring yourself in your own passions, pursuits, and growth, you build a life that makes you proud, independent of how others see or validate you. This isn't a passive resignation to being ignored. It's an active and vibrant embrace of your own life. It's about living with such fullness and engagement that the need for external validation naturally fades away. When you invest in your own growth and happiness, when you pour energy into becoming the best version of yourself, the opinions and acknowledgement of others start to lose their power. You are no longer defined by whether or not someone notices you. You are defined by the richness of your own life and the fulfillment you cultivate within yourself. Engage deeply in your work, your hobbies, your relationships, and your self-development. By doing so, you'll not only strengthen your sense of self-worth, but also create a life that feels deeply meaningful. This is not a performance for others, not an effort to gain attention, but an investment in the only person who truly matters when it comes to your sense of worth, you. Let your confidence and sense of assurance stem from what you build, achieve, and enjoy in your own life, not from external validation or fleeting attention. In Stoic philosophy, one of the greatest lessons is that our happiness and sense of fulfillment are entirely within our control. We cannot control how others treat us, but we can control how we respond. When you stop chasing after attention and instead focus on building a life that satisfies you, you take control of your narrative. Rejection, then, becomes irrelevant because your self-worth is no longer tied to the approval or acknowledgement of others. It becomes a reflection of your own achievements, values, and personal growth. This approach is not about managing rejection or indifference by pretending it doesn't hurt. Instead, it's about transforming these experiences into opportunities for deep personal growth. When someone fails to recognize your value, it's a chance for you to reflect on how much you recognize your own. It's a moment to remind yourself that you don't need to be validated by anyone else to know that you are worthy, capable, and strong. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and what we can always control is our effort towards self-improvement and our commitment to personal fulfillment. In the face of rejection or indifference, your greatest power lies in your ability to redirect your energy inward, toward the things that truly matter to you. This is how you not only manage rejection, but transcend it, transforming it into an opportunity to grow even stronger in your own sense of self-worth. The ultimate goal is not to receive attention or validation from others. It's to cultivate such a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose within your own life that external validation becomes unnecessary. You are enough as you are, and the life you build is valuable, not because others recognize it, but because you know its worth. So, the next time you face indifference, resist the urge to beg for attention. Don't alter your behavior in hopes of being noticed. Instead, turn your focus inward, embrace your passions, and continue building a life you're proud of. The recognition that truly matters is the one you give yourself. By doing so, you not only rise above rejection, you thrive, with or without anyone else's acknowledgement. 13. Be kind, but emotionally distant. Protect your peace with grace. When someone chooses to ignore you or show indifference, it can stir up feelings of frustration, sadness, or even anger. However, Stoicism offers a powerful remedy. Respond with kindness, but protect your emotional boundaries. Being kind doesn't mean seeking validation or trying to win someone's approval. Instead, it's a reflection of your character, a way of maintaining your dignity while keeping your inner peace intact. When you offer a smile, a polite greeting, or a genuine wish for someone to have a good day, you're demonstrating strength, not submission. But this kindness comes without expectation. It's not transactional. It's a gift you give freely, and if it isn't reciprocated, it doesn't diminish your worth. You remain in control of your actions, and by choosing to be kind, you're choosing to act in alignment with your values, not react to their behavior. Emotional distance doesn't mean being cold or aloof. It's about recognizing that while you can control how you act, you cannot control how others respond. This distance serves as a boundary that protects your emotional well-being. It's a reminder that your peace is yours to preserve, regardless of how others behave. Maintaining this emotional distance allows you to remain kind without letting their indifference affect your state of mind. It's about cultivating a sense of inner calm that isn't shaken by external actions. By maintaining this balance of kindness and emotional distance, you send a clear message to yourself and others. You value your peace and self-respect more than external validation. You demonstrate that your sense of worth is not tied to someone else's acknowledgement or approval. This quiet confidence is empowering, and it transforms moments of potential hurt into opportunities for growth and maturity. You aren't building walls to shut others out. You're building boundaries to protect yourself, ensuring that your interactions are grounded in respect, both for yourself and for others. This approach is a manifestation of Stoic wisdom. It allows you to engage with the world gracefully while maintaining emotional integrity. It's a choice to interact without being dragged into emotional turbulence, to offer kindness without sacrificing your inner balance. By staying kind but distant, you ensure that you navigate rejection or indifference with dignity and strength, turning these moments into lessons in emotional mastery. 14. Do not reveal your struggle. Embrace Stoic composure. When someone ignores you or dismisses your presence, it's tempting to showcase your struggle, to visibly express your hurt in hopes of eliciting empathy or acknowledgement. But Stoicism teaches us a different path: composure. It's not about pretending everything is fine or burying your emotions. It's about cultivating an internal resilience that allows you to move through life with grace, no matter the external circumstances. Choosing not to reveal your struggle is not about hiding your feelings or denying their existence. It's about managing those emotions with wisdom. Acknowledge the hurt or frustration you feel, but don't let it define your behavior. Let your calmness and self-assurance be the guiding forces in how you respond to rejection or indifference. This composure is not a performance for others. It's a reflection of your inner strength, a reminder to yourself that your emotional state is under your control. By continuing with your life with the same vigor and determination as before, you demonstrate not only to others, but also to yourself that your worth is independent of how others treat you. You show that rejection does not diminish your value, nor does it have the power to derail your confidence. This approach is a subtle but powerful way to assert that your self-worth is self-contained, not swayed by external forces. The Stoic approach to rejection is not about denying your emotions, but mastering them. You can feel disappointment or frustration without letting it control your actions. By choosing not to reveal your struggle, you're embracing the Stoic philosophy of emotional resilience, the ability to endure life's difficulties without being overwhelmed by them. It's a demonstration of your wisdom and integrity, showing that you are grounded in your own character and that external circumstances don't define your inner state. 15. Practice conscious self-reflection. Learn and grow from every experience. One of the most powerful tools in Stoic philosophy is the practice of self-reflection. In moments of rejection or indifference, it's essential to take time to evaluate your emotions, thoughts, and reactions without harshly judging yourself. This isn't about criticizing or blaming yourself for how you feel. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of your responses and using that knowledge to improve in the future. By practicing conscious self-reflection, you allow yourself to grow and evolve, strengthening your emotional resilience with each experience. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect on your interactions. For example, if someone ignored you in a meeting, consider how you felt and what thoughts came to mind. Did you feel overlooked or frustrated? Did you react internally with self-doubt or anger? Identify your emotions, and then think about how you can manage them more effectively the next time. This practice isn't about achieving emotional perfection. It's about becoming more aware of your reactions so you can approach similar situations with greater clarity and composure in the future. With regular reflection, you'll notice patterns in how you respond to rejection, and you'll be better equipped to handle those moments with calmness and confidence. And that wraps up our journey through these powerful lessons on how to transform rejection into strength, resilience, and personal growth. We've uncovered strategies to not only survive rejection, but thrive through it. Now, I want to hear from you. What have you learned from this video? Which lesson resonated with you the most? And how will you put it into practice in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this video, please leave your comment. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more empowering content. Thank you for watching.